If they're not taught to love and fear Allah, if they're not taught about compassion, profundity, and if they're not taught to love Allah passionately, then of course such children will be half crazy. We see the role of the parents here. There is also reference to this in the Quran and also in the hadiths. They go and put a very young child into the hands of Dajjal. Dajjal crushes him and sends the child back to his parents. This time the child becomes a trouble for his parents. He beats his father and mother and insults them. He becomes ill-tempered. I know mothers and fathers. I know a lot of families who live a life of great tension because of their children. The father cannot sleep in peace. The old man, the father feels terrified. The child becomes aggressive towards his parents. In order to clear away these, it is very important that the fear and love of Allah become prevalent in the society. A 17-year-old boy acting on the logic that no one takes him seriously, that no one listens to him and no one appreciates his ideas, finds a gun and kills other people with no remorse. This may be again due to family relations, as you say. The reason of these may be raising that kid without love, failing to give that love may be. How can anyone who fears Allah do such a thing? Indeed, this happens when there is no fear of Allah. If love and fear of Allah is explained, if the Quran is taught, a very strong structure is built. Sometimes people think that a child brought up with the love of a family would be more normal. A child brought up without this love would be like this. However, there have been cases in which a child brought up in the love of a family cut his mother and father to pieces. That is to say, the love of family is not enough. The love of Quran and Allah are basic. People who are brought up with the fear and love of Allah become good-moraled, balanced and consistent people. You will notice that they always regard children as crazy. They even speak in their presence, they talk as if they were talking to a cray person. They would say it's the mind of a child. In fact, the children are very intelligent. I remember that even when I was 3 years old, I had an open conscience and I considered everything logically. That is, my conscience and my logic were fully developed. But they used to treat me like a child, I remember. And I acted as a child only to please them. I did everything deliberately. They would be happy with my childishness. We must treat children with deep respect and approach them sensibly. We must approach children sincerely and with the love of Allah. When a child sees the sincere belief, Allah will open his spirit and bless the child. For example, what was Jesus like from his childhood? What were the prophets like? They were all very well cultivated from childhood. They grasped the love of Allah very sharply. Children should be taught the love of Allah from their childhood, and they must be approached with love, affection and intelligence. Along with this, superstitions are very dangerous. I mean, people are very open to superstitions. They recall superstitions when you talk about religion, and religion when you talk about superstitions. There is no such thing. Religion is a system in which a person with the highest quality live. That is to say, a religious person is the person with the highest quality in the world. He is most intelligent, insightful, perceptive, trustworthy, sensible and conscientious. The religion is a system in which we can most profitably use the world. The Quran is also Allah's work of artistry that teaches us how we should make use of this world. If we approach a child gently in this spirit, in such compassion, that would be great. But again I say, let them access Harun Yahya websites and download my books. But if there's anything they still cannot figure out, they can write to us and we will provide them with the general information.